Qapla!
I'm going to take this opportunity, however, to suggest that we all hail Hiroki. Oh, that's all I'm saying.
Forgive me, Doctor. I'm receiving a number of distress calls. I don't doubt it.
Y'all remember to get your waitresses. Have a mighty fine night.
You come in peace, surrender or be destroyed. Here to make war, we surrender. Or continues our new people.
When the appointed hour arrives, the Marauders will deactivate their cloaking devices and begin transporting Klingon shock troops directly to the landing zone.
Landing zone? Where? Tell me.
Why not? Your feeble weapons will be useless against us. We will kill all your males and take your females to mate with.
All right. Now the Federation's taking over, whether you like it or not. You people, you've been running this planet like a piecework planet. From now on, it's going to be under one roof. You're going to run it like a business. That means you're going to make a profit.
Look at these 3 words written larger than the rest, with a special pride never written before. Orsine's tall word, proudly saying, "We the people."
Hi, I'm Nicole DeBoer. I played Lieutenant Ezri Dax on DS9, and I welcome you to Birdo Prey 5 channel. Hail Karoga.
Hello world, it's Birdo Prey 5, Qapla, and welcome to Deep Space Nine Wednesday for Wednesday, January 20th, 2021, Inauguration Day. The peaceful transition of power happened once again, despite people who thought it wouldn't. President Trump left the White House early this morning. President Joe Biden entered the White House sometime this afternoon after taking the oath of office to a record tiny crowd, although, of course, you could say no one was allowed to go because of the pandemic, right? But hearing the cheering that would happen whenever he made a pause in his speech for, applause, I couldn't help but think I heard larger applauses in my elementary school auditorium. That was a bit weird. You would think they would have at least pumped in some fake applause or something to make it more, I don't know, just feel better. But whatever. It is what it is. And I recently on my Facebook and my Twitter, I wished our new president, Joe Biden, the best of luck. I truly wish that he is the best president we've ever had, because that would be best for me. It would be the best for you, and it would be best for the whales. So, anything else is just short-sighted and stupid. Also, can't wait for that cure for cancer he promised. Fingers crossed, hoping he puts it out sooner than later. We'll see. But I assume he means this term. So we'll all keep an eye out on that. And with that, it is time for Deep Space Nine, Season 4, Episode 19, Hard Time. And this is one of those episodes where Miles O'Brien must suffer. Poor Miles, working, doing something on some alien planet, gets wrongly convicted of a crime. Does Starfleet break him out? Do they? No. Apparently, they let him have something implanted into his brain, so it feels like he lived a lifetime of solitude in prison. To compare it to Captain Picard, like the inner light. Captain Picard lives an entire lifetime. He becomes, he begets a wife, he becomes a parent and a grandparent, and he learns to play the flute, and he studies their star and the stars, and he lives an entire beautiful lifetime in the inner light. And in this episode, poor Miles O'Brien lives possibly just as long, possibly longer, in a prison cell. By guards who don't care if he lives or dies, fed the most minuscule of rations. He had to even ration the food he's given. A truly hellish existence. And then he comes out of it, and he's expected to just go back to his life, his family. Really, this is the polar opposite of the inner light, and it is a dark episode of DS9. Let me tell you, very highly Miles centric, as many episodes are. I assume it's a tribute to his agent that got him a number of these episodes over the years. Good for him. And we'll watch it in just a few minutes. But as far as I can see, and I'm sure I missed some earlier comments, Rock Solid was first with hashtag birds late, hashtag in prison Aberjam, hashtag welcome to the USSA, hashtag hail Bunnyland, hashtag can be bribed. Son of a red shirt says, I left a pre-like because you're talking DS9, and that's always great. Bird of Prey, Qapla, and may the blood of your enemies wash easily from your boots. Because, once you get that in the house, it drags all around, and Sassy goes out, starts to lick it up. It's not good. Karoga Knight says, Viva Karoga, Qapla, Karoga Knight. Tyron Beard says, hail and good day. Qapla, Tyron Beard, good to see you. Dee Myers says, Qapla, Bird of Prey, how are you and the family doing? Doing pretty decently, Dee today. Thank you for asking. Monty's Folly says, hail, Bird of Prey, how are you today, good sir? Also, how did you come up with your channel name? Well, I am doing decently well, all things considered. The channel name is just Bird of Prey 5. I've been using this name online going back to, I believe, the late 80s. Certainly early 90s. I think it was the late 80s. I had signed up for a what was the predecessor to America Online. It was for Commodore 64. It was called Quantum Link, Q-Link for short. And you could have a 10-character max screen name. I wanted Bird of Prey. OF, Bird of Prey, because of the ship from Star Trek 3 and Star Trek 4. And it was taken. Those sons of bitches. Somebody had taken Bird of Prey already. So I said, okay, well, I'll do Bird O Prey. Surely that. Nope, that was taken too. So then I just had to pick a number. And to my young mind, I felt 5 was the best, roundest one-digit number I could choose. So I tried Bird O Prey 5. And third time was the charm. I got Bird O Prey 5, and I have been Bird O Prey 5 ever since. On whatever service I've been on, whatever services I've used, web pages, whatever's, emails. I still, if you want to email me, birdopray5@aol.com still works. No, it's not my main email address, obviously, but it still works. I still check it almost daily. And it's the best way for you guys to reach me by email if you ever want or need to. So that's how it is. So when I came to YouTube, I just put in Birdo-Pray5 and I never thought twice. That was 10 years before I started actually, I created the channel just in the beginning. For many years, I was just uploading videos to share with friends and family. It wasn't until a decade later that I actually start to, stream and put up videos for other people. So that's just the way things were. And that's why I'm Birdo-Pray5 on Steam. Yeah, if you ever want to get me on Steam, I'm Birdo-Pray5. I'm on Birdo-Pray5 on Minds.com. I have a page, Birdo-Pray5 on Facebook. I'm Birdo-Pray5 on Twitter, on Gab. If Parler ever comes back up, I'll be Birdo-Pray5 on that. That's, that's, don't ever, if you ever can't find me, probably just search for Birdo-Pray5 on whatever you're using, and it'll be me, in all likelihood. Moxley fan 21 says Birdo-Pray5 Qapla Moxley fan, and says hello to us all. 47 Yorktown says hello, young sir. Hello, 47 Yorktown. Mike Richards says greetings from Columbus, Ohio. Greetings, Mike Richards. Carlo Albanese says hiya and hope everyone is as well as can be. Thank you, Carlo. Same to you. Hail, Karoga. Carlo, I don't know if you've seen it, but the CWS Dictator, the Karogan warship, is complete, and it has passed its trial runs. It is loaded and ready to go. So one day we'll have to just find some targets and watch them go bye-bye in the game Space Engineers. Monty's Folly says sound. What's wrong with the sound? Everything appears okay with the sound. Springtime says Birdo-Pray, breaking news. We were lied to this. Breaking news. We were lied to. This is some guy named Joe and not Mamo Pray. Long live Mamo Pray and peace to that Joe guy, whoever he is. Okay, Springtime. Roxodds is Birdo-Pray. Did you happen to check the link I tweeted to you earlier? No, I didn't. I did not notice you tweeted me any link earlier, Rock Solid. Did you tweet it to... I assumed you just tweeted it, not DM tweeted it. I did not. I didn't even know there was a link. Rock Solid says hey to Sean. Moxley fans says hello to Rock Solid. Mountains of Elysium says greetings, Birdo-Pray, Mamo Pray, Sisso Pray, Nephew Pray, aka Ball Breaker and fellow nerds. Thank you, Mountains of Elysium. Springtime says Birdo-Pray, breaking news. The Bunny Master is making a prison for Birdo-Pray5. Rock Solid says Birdo-Pray was not first. Not Ryan Johnson was. Well, unfortunately, I apparently missed that one. Mountains of Elysium says greetings to Sassy, chaser of Vandorians, eater of Pakled, stalker of Klingons, defiler of Vulcans, and the scourge of Cardassia. Aru! Yes, Sassy. Mountains of Elysium also says remember the Alpaca Mo. And just listening as I got some chores around the house. No problem, Mountains. Captain Trek says greetings, Qapla, and greetings to Captain Trek. Mountains of Elysium says hail, Karoga. Mountains of Elysium also says greetings to his friend Captain Trek. Captain Trek says hail on Karoga. Springtime. Where are we? Springtime says the bunny people versus bird. New ramming ship, the Warhammer, Phil Spectre. No. The new warship is called the Dictator, and some of the people on my member stream got to see a sneak peek of it yesterday. Next time I do a maybe tomorrow, you guys will get to see the dictator in action, the Kurogan warship. Rock Solid says, Captain Trek is still alive, Bird of Prey. Please don't hang his image on your wall. I'm not putting up his image on my wall. Captain Trek says, greetings to Mountains of Elysium. Carlo Albanese puts up an umbrella, I assume for the hail. Geeks enjoy Nerdrotica, waves, Qapla. Geeks enjoy Nerdrotica. Captain Trek says, rock solid. Why would he want my ugly mug on his wall? I'm really not putting anybody's picture on my wall these days unless you're in Star Trek. So those are the only people I have to worry. Josh reads says, CNN, Kurogan News Network, breaking news. Kuroga mourning the loss of its glorious leader after a failed weapons test earlier today. No, fake news. Fake news. Josh Street says, we now return you back to the pre-recorded show, Wednesday DS9 stream. I wish this was pre-recorded and I would know the future. And then I would just play the lottery and then I would win the lottery. And then I would just get lots of private nurses to care for me 24/7. Mountains of Elysium says, it's really war, oh glorious God Emperor. When Kuroga enters combat, isn't it really justifiable? Chastisement? That's above my pay grade. Rock Solid says, Bird of Prey, yeah, just a straight tweet. It was a VidQ training to expand on yesterday's discussion. Gotcha. Thank you, Rock Solid. I'll take a look. Rock Solid says, Captain Track, well then, Bird of Prey puts the photo on the wall and then takes it down. The individual comes to an untimely end. That's just a rumor and a coincidence. Captain Track says, if I will come up to an ultimate end soon enough, I do not need anyone to encourage anything. Sorry to hear that. Springtime says, Bird of Prey, how long will the new ship last? I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully a long time. Cinnabon says, hello, we received intel on your dick ship. It's offensive. It's called the Dictator. I don't need you to call it the dick ship. Just because it has a long shaft and 2 circular power cells doesn't make it, you're seeing phallic symbols where none exist. It's an innocent design. Josh Street says, Bird of Prey, the Dictator. Are you overcompensating with that name? No, there's no K in Dictator. Rock Solid says, Bird of Prey, which is older, President Biden or the 127-year-old Barbie he was? You know, the thing in on. Oh, Bible. The 127-year-old Bible he was. You know, the thing in on. I would assume the 127-year-old Bible is older than Joe Biden. Captain Trax says hello to Cinnabon Bunny. And Kendrick says, oh my God, Bird of Prey has it. No. Anyway, I do have, speaking of, a little wiener. A little Oscar Mayer wiener. No, not Oscar Mayer. Hebrew National. Hebrew National. They answer to a higher authority. I have one left. I'm going to eat this on camera before we begin. A little honey mustard. Delicious. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I left myself open to what joke? Yes, that's what I said. I ate it. It's good. It was delicious, in fact. Thank you, Mama Cray. Let's go ahead and start to get ready to watch this episode. Carlos says maybe I should build a ship for Bird of Prey to fit in and out for transport. I've got several ships at the Duet base right now, including the Dictator. So I'm not exactly sure what transport I would need. But whatever. I mean, you're free to build ships if you'd like, Carlo. Though I think we're doing pretty good. Can always use a little extra platinum. Platinum and gold and uranium are the top, most useful resources, but we have a decent enough, I mean, I have locations on supplies. I have a decent enough mining ship. I really should improve it a bit. It's great when it's surface mining, it's perfect. But when I've got to like drill through the meteor, it takes a lot of damage, more than it should. And I don't understand why, to be honest. But we're in pretty good shape as a force to be reckoned with in the game. Monty says, Bird of Prey, does your new ship look like the last chicken in the shop? No, I don't think so. I really don't know what the last chicken in the shop looks like. Carlos says, Bird of Prey, check the station. It has a lot of things in it. I haven't been to the station in a while. I will though, Carlo. I'll beam over and check out what you got there. And maybe I'll put up, when you get a chance, I will send you the coordinates of the Duet, since it's moved since last time I was online, and I've got a transport jammer now, so people can't just steal me away. How dishonorable. But let's go ahead and, so guys, if you're new here or for whatever reason you forgot, we're going to watch the actual episode. This is season 4. I call it episode 19. It might be 18, 19, or 20, depending on who's counting them, because some people count the first episode as 2 episodes. Some count it as 1 episode. So the main thing is it's called Hard Time. It's the Miles O'Brien Goes to Prison episode. And if you've got it on your own, on Hulu, Netflix, Amazon Prime, or CBS All Access, or your own DVD, you can go ahead and just bring it up now and pause it at the beginning. Otherwise, if you want to watch with us, you can head to the screening room. The address for the screening room is right at the bottom of the YouTube page, birdopray5.com/SR. And you go there in your browser, and it will start playing in a minute or so. When I get around to starting it, you can change the volume, but it will be synced up with screenshots you will see on the main view screen on YouTube. If you can't go to the screening room and you don't have your own copy, you can just watch the screenshots. They'll come up every 10 seconds or so, so you know whereabouts we are in the episode and what exactly I'm talking about. Rock Solid says, hashtag no DS9 without Thomas Potts. No Dear Bops without Thomas Potts. Well, I hope, I kind of feel like Thomas might be out there watching us, just from a different name, being totally quiet. I hope. And if he's not, he's not. But I do hope Thomas is doing well and getting whatever he might need from this break he is taking. And I was very sad to see that he did, in fact, go ahead and delete his YouTube account. So if he comes back ever, I assume it will be under a different name. Bring back Thomas Potts. Yes, Carlo, I agree. I just don't know how to do it. Hakeem says this was such a great episode. It might have made a few teardrops. Yeah, it might have been one of those. It might have been one of those. So we're heading over to the screening room. I'm going to count down. Let's see, we'll bring that up. And if you want me, again, robertopray5.com/SR to go to the screening room, leave your YouTube window open. If you can't go to the screening room, then just watch it here through the view screen. You obviously won't hear the audio if you're not in the screening room. But you will hear me commenting, which is just as good. So, 5, 4. Oh, wait, pause. I've got to kill the sound so that the audio doesn't go through. There we go. Good. Rock Solid says, Bird of Prey, Biden is already laying down. The ambassador to Israel is now the U.S. ambassador to Israel, the West Bank, and the Gaza. Didn't even take him 8 hours. Whatever. Is he going to move our embassy? He probably will. He said he was going to cancel the pipeline that Canada already spent billions and billions of dollars on. But you know what? That's his right to do, I assume. If it's not his right to do, someone will sue him over it. I don't care. You know what? I don't care. I just hope he turns out to be the best president we ever had. Maybe I've been wrong about things. Maybe the way I've looked at things was the wrong way. And all I can do is hope and pray that he will surprise me. That's all I can do. There's nothing else left. So that's what I do. I hope he surprises me. I hope, in 4 years I could say, holy crap, that old man did it right. I am so much better off than I was 4 years ago. It's not even funny. It's all I can hope for. It's the best any of us can hope for. Who would have preferred someone else. Obviously, half the country is already happy that he's president, even if he does nothing else except just sit there and, be called president. So, whatever. But we will move on to better things. Deep Space Nine. This is something that shows hope for the future, as opposed to dope for the future. Yeah, I don't know if that worked. Uncle Remus's Bird of Prey is a Biden fan, confirmed. Well, at this point, Uncle Remus, I just hope he does good, because if he does good, America does good. If America does good, presumably I do good. Nephew O'Prey does good. And, all goes well. I pray he doesn't need to get us into any new wars. And hopefully he can continue getting us out of the ones we are in. Hope he can continue a somewhat peaceful relationship with the countries that didn't like us, don't like us. And I hope he can continue to prevent bad actors from getting the bomb. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Mountains of Elysium says, I think AOC is in the room with Bird of Prey and he's trying to impress her. No, she's not. Monty's Flies is Bird of Prey, as the Russians say, poop in one hand and wish with the other. Which one fills first? Carlos says, oh, you're serious. Josh Reed says, you want to watch along with Bird of Prey while he's streaming, and puts in the link to the streaming room. Thank you, Josh Street. So yes, so we're going to head there right now. And I'm going to start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We got some music. We see O'Brien with his hair messed up. What's he doing? He's making pictures in the sand. There's a message about comparing for decontamination. Decontamination will proceed immediately. And he has to sit in a certain position, and a beam comes and erases everything that he just drew in the sand. And we don't know it's O'Brien yet, I guess, but I mean, I know it's O'Brien, and you know it's O'Brien. So he starts drawing again, and now a door opens, and there's 2 people come walking out. Miles Edward O'Brien! The Argratha authorities have reviewed your case. Do you wish to add anything to the official record? He shakes his head. He says, no matter. Your correction is completed. You're free to go. He says, free? The crime of espionage requires a minimum of 15 cycles. You've been here for 20. It's time for you to go. He's like, go. He's like, I can leave? Where would I go to? She's like, that's not my concern. Remove him. And they shock him and they pull him out. And he wakes up in screaming pain. You know, if this was all a simulation, why did they need to shock him at the end? And he's like, it's done. And he wakes up, and it's Miles O'Brien in uniform still. He's looking, he's like, Major. And she's like, it's me, Chief. He's like, it can't be. It's been 20 years. You haven't changed at all. And then the guy says, only a few hours have passed during the correction. He's like, I don't understand. Chief, I know this is going to be hard for you to accept, she says. You haven't been in prison. What you experienced was an artificial reality, an interactive program that created memories of things that never actually happened. He's like, what? The other one says, we punish our offenders by giving memories of incarceration, modeled to fit each offender's personality. It's more efficient and much more effective than obtaining an extensive prison system. So curious as what you think you experienced in prison. Things you remember didn't happen. It wasn't real. And he's like, it was real to me, Major. It was real to me. Now, I would be looking at my hands and look at my face, feel my face from my beard. I don't know. O'Brien didn't really sell it to me. Oh. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 do 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 dun 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 do 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 Dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Ah, so, O'Brien didn't really sell it to me that he really just woke up from that, but he's pretty good. So Cisco's explaining to Keiko what happened. He got curious about some tech, and she's like, Miles would never break the law intentionally. He's like, yeah, but by the time they told us what happened, they already carried out his correction. He's like, can the memories be removed? Keiko says. They claim it's impossible, but Dr. Bashir will do his best. Keiko wants to know when she can see him. As soon as Bashir gives the okay. Sounds like bullshit to me, Keiko. You want to see him now? Before Dr. Bashir. Oh, so now Kira's bringing him back in the runabout. He used to dream about this, seeing and being a runabout, seeing the station again. Now he keeps expecting to wake up thinking this was the dream. And Keiko says, no, this is reality. He forgotten how beautiful it was, says O'Brien. Kira says, come on, let's get you home. John Street says, this is how Berto Prey and Kuroga tortures people. John Street says, Berto Prey is the Alamo that O'Brien is making in the sand. Ah, the Alamo. And it's Julian. Is it really you? Says O'Brien. It is. And Kira says, he's all yours. You know, for a guy who's been away for 20-something years, he saw a woman for the first time, you would think he might have, you know, I'm just saying, he seems very content. So, Bashir wants to run some tests. He needs to take things easy, get used to things. He didn't want everybody else here to overwhelm him. Doctor's orders. He's like, I can't imagine what it would have been like 20 years inside a cell. He said it was bad. He says, and all that time were you able to talk to anyone, see anyone? He says he was alone. And we're seeing a flashback to him being thrown in the cell. And he has a roommate. And he's giving him some water or something. I hope it's water. God knows what he's giving him. He's dripping in his mouth. They don't even have beds. He's like, eat this. Help you feel better. It's some type of fruit. Is that Neelix? He's been alone in there for 6 cycles, 6 years. He's like, it's a wonder I'm not insane. You find ways to survive. He says, let me guess. Sedition. Espionage. He says, looks like we're going to be in here together for a long time. His name is Ichar. Orion Star says I was off key. Welcome to you to the Bird of Prey 5 channel. That's not really news. So Brian confirms he was completely alone. So he doesn't want to tell Bashir about this guy who was his cellmate. Roxanne says, most people, I'll try and sing to key. Bird of Prey, F it. I'll sing on all the keys. Yeah, Josh Street says, Orion Star, Bird of Prey is always off key. John Myers says, you're just starting. Wow. Yeah, well, you know, we don't start on time often. Joseph says, now my week is complete and life more beautiful and worth living. Good to know, Joseph. So Bashir is saying to Keiko, Miles has been through some terrible things in his life. The war on Setlik 3, the time he was taken prisoner by the other people, his trial on Cardassia Prime. He's always survived. In the long run, he's going to be okay. He's just that our writers are so sadistic that O'Brien must suffer at least once every season, sometimes twice. Rock Solid says, stop the stream. Why would I stop the stream? You got to give me a reason to stop the stream. No DS9 Wednesday until Thomas Potts returns. Rock Solid, I wish I could stop the stream, but I can't. The show must go on. So he wants a piece of the Raylesh fruit, but the computer doesn't know what the hell it is. He's trying to explain it. He doesn't know the specifications. It's a shitty fruit. How about an orange? Oh, look. Bashir came in and at first it was his roommate, but then it was Keiko. Oh no, what did O'Brien do to that guy if he thought he was Keiko? And he's like, Miles. She's like, Miles, what's wrong? He's like, you're pregnant? He's like, that's right. He's like, it had been so long. He forgot she was pregnant. Aw, poor Keiko. She's like, it's all right. Everything's gonna be all right. And like, did you wait for me? She's like, no, you were gonna be away 20 years. I didn't know it was only gonna be a few minutes. Molly needed a daddy. Oh, Molly wants to go color. She's got to put her plate in the replicator. It's going to get all turned into poop and then turned into food again. Oh, Molly asks O'Brien if he wants to come color with her. Says maybe in a little while. Yeah, Daddy's suffering from severe PTSD. Keiko says it must be strange to have a family again. Rock Solid says Keiko is an O'Brien by marriage. Therefore, Keiko must suffer. Talking to a counselor is going to help. 3 counseling sessions a week. He can hardly wait, says Miles. So she asks Miles, what's he doing? Miles he's putting food away. He's rationing his food. And she's like, what are you doing with your food, Miles? Oh. He'd gotten so used. A habit he picked up in prison. The guards didn't care much whether he lived or died. Sometimes they wouldn't deliver food for days or weeks. When they did feed him, he ate as little as possible and saved the rest. Keiko's like, that's so horrible. He's like, you get used to it. So now we got a flashback. And not only does he have to save the food, he's got to hide the saved food under an easily movable rock. For later, his friend is telling him. They could play like tic-tac-toe or whatever. He's like, how did you manage? O'Brien asks. 6 years in here all by yourself. He's like, you find ways. Exercise, tell himself stories. Draw something on the ground. Seekers. Geometric patterns. Drawing them as a way to relax your body and occupy the mind. O'Brien says that helps. And he's like, it helps me. You're hearing like screams of torture in the background. So O'Brien says, show him. He says, it's not easy. O'Brien says he's got plenty of time to learn. I'm going to bet it is pretty easy. You're just drawing shit on the ground. Like, this is a good spot. It's the middle of the room. Roxanne says, you think that's horrible, Bird of Prey? You know what's worse? Hashtag Thomas Potts not being here. Hashtag a Poopsylvania dictator. Hashtag a rock solid video. So he starts with drawing a circle. That's clearly an oval. He says, now gaze into the circle. And you want to learn or not? He's like, I'm gazing. He's like, no, relax your mind. Imagining the circle encompasses your whole existence. Let the circle become a part of you. And without thinking, let your hand make a mark inside the circle. Now expand on the mark. Organically, let it grow organically. A pattern, till a pattern emerges. This sounds like the meditation videos you get on YouTube. He's laughing now. He's like, what are you laughing at? He's like, you look like a reader hawk picking at a corpse. And he makes some bird hawk sounds. He's like, how do you do that? Says O'Brien. Oh, laugh. How do you laugh after 6 years? He says, well, after 6 years, you either learn to laugh or you go insane. He prefers to laugh. Oh, time for dormancy periods. All offenders active during the dormancy period will be disciplined, and illumination will be suspended in 20 seconds. Is that guy sleeping on a rock? Like, if you feel like laughing in the middle of the night, go ahead. He's a heavy sleeper. Dormancy period initiated. They could just knock the prisoners out if they wanted, I assume. So Keiko's in bed. She's reaching over. Miles isn't there. Big surprise. Miles has got to be sleeping on the floor. Yeah, he got used to sleeping on the floor. And Keiko, don't go check the bucket, Keiko. Stay away from the bucket. Not the only thing he changed. Yeah. Oh, Worf's in this episode. He's playing darts. He's like, O'Brien's turn to throw the dart. Like, do I need 117 or 2? Worf is not sure. O'Brien doesn't know. Worf says we could start again. He's like, I know darts isn't really your game. He doesn't feel much like playing himself. Worf says we could go kayaking. And he's like, you're a good friend, but... And now O'Brien looks across the bar and he sees his old cellmate. O'Brien says 1 second, and he's walking across, trying to follow the cellmate. He's on the promenade. I mean, at least O'Brien isn't on duty. He's wearing civilian clothes. I mean, very weird civilian clothes. Kind of looks like, I don't know, nightgown, not nightgown, night clothes. O'Brien is working with Jake to remember what his tools are called. ODN recoupler. Yeah, he got them all, Jake said. He said, don't tell him. It's a self-sealing stem bolt. It's a quantum flux a quantum flux something Mark III. He's perfect. Perfect, says Jake. Mr. Miles. Miles wants to go through it one more time. Jake's like, you're good. He's like, I don't want to go through it again. He's like, I want to go through it again. Jake's like, you don't have to. Even if you're a little rusty, you're still the chief. And O'Brien's like, if I'm still the chief, I say we go through it again. So now they've literally got O'Brien back in uniform again and apparently on duty. I don't know, 2-3 days after getting back. God, we don't know how much time has passed. So the guy has him check in on his work. He's like, if it's all good, I'll dismiss the crew for lunch. He says, keep up the good work, crewman. In another week or two, he'll be running the place as a joke. So Brian wants to do a couple of things on his own. And Bashir comes down to check on him. Come to check up on him. He's like, yep, to be honest. The counselor says he hasn't been to see him. Well, Brian's like, so? He's like, so you're supposed to see him 3 times a week. He's like, what for? All he wants to do is sit there and tell stories of what it's like to be in a prison. How often did they beat him? And was he distressed by a lack of toilet facilities? He's like, you could talk to a different counselor, someone you might like better. He's like, I don't want to talk to a counselor. He just wanted to forget about what happened and get on with his life. Just like that, says Bashir. He's like, yes, just like that. I don't need counseling or relaxation. I just want to be left alone. He's like, I thought after being alone for 20 years, you'd want someone to talk to. He's like, there's one thing I haven't missed in the last 20 years. It's your smug, superior attitude. He's like, if you know what's good for you, you'll stay the hell away from me. I told you I wanted to be alone. Joseph Patrick says, Bird of Prey, that Hispanic guy is going to die soon. Yeah, I don't think he's got a long career in Starfleet. So we get another flashback to him drawing in the sand, and O'Brien is walking around. The cellmate is like, tell me about Keiko again. He's like, I told you so many times. What more is there to say? He's like, I like hearing about her. If I had a beautiful wife, I'd talk about her. He's like, besides, talking about her always relaxes you. And you seem a little distracted. He is, says O'Brien. He's like, your drawing is bothering me. He's like, since when? He says, since now. And O'Brien kicks the dirt. He's like, you didn't have to do that. He's like, don't tell me what I need. And the guy's like, Miles. He's like, don't do it. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of this place. I'm sick of you. The guy's like, try to be calm. He's like, I don't want to be calm. I've had it with this place. I don't belong here. Do you hear me? I don't belong here. I didn't do anything wrong. I know you're listening. And now he's banging on the door, yelling, I didn't do anything wrong. So now he's started a disturbance. They're saying, you're going to be disciplined. And he's like, discipline this. And his cellmate comes and forces him to be quiet. Like, shut the hell up before you get us all in trouble. Odo asks O'Brien, how's he doing? And O'Brien says, I wish people would stop asking. And he stops. He's like, I'm sorry. It's fine. Just had a tough day. He just wishes people would stop asking him how he's doing. So O'Brien comes into Quark's, asks for a synthale. It's busy. Quark says he'll be right with him. He's like, Quark, what about the synthale? He's like, just another minute. He's like, look, Chief, I'm a little busy. And O'Brien pulls him by his arm. He's like, I'm not in the mood for games. So why don't you get me my drink? Or I'll do something to you. And Quark is just because your life is in shambles right now. And O'Brien goes to hurt him even more. And he's like, okay, one synthol coming up. And O'Brien looks around. And he's like, yeah, I'm the boss here. At least he enjoys his good synthale. There's no better synthale than one you wrestle away from a Quark. And there's his cellmate is there. He's like, what you doing here? He's like, I never really been gone, have I? He's like, you're not real. You're just in my head. He's like, that's all I ever was. But I'm real to you, and that's all that matters. He's like, go away, please. He's like, I can't. I'm your friend. You need me. He's like, you're the last thing I need. He's like, no, Miles, you need me more than ever. Because plot. He doesn't really need him. So now Quark is reporting this to Odo. And Odo's looking at O'Brien like, really, Quark? You gonna report this to Odo? You little troll. You think that you should be protection from O'Brien? You knew he was in having trouble. You should have served him first. So the cellmate is looking at him in the mirror. Says, what are you doing? O'Brien says he's going to work. He says, as his friend, he's worried about him. And O'Brien says, don't be. I'm home. I'm working. And the first time, and as long as he can remember, he feels good. He's like, well, then why am I here? So now Cisco is calling O'Brien to his office. And he's like, I don't know why you're here, and I don't care. Robert Rose Jr. says, hello again, Birdo Prey 5, Mamo Prey Sassy, the scourge of all Vernum. Dan 23, hello Dan, Qapla. So Cisco tells O'Brien to have a seat. I guess they decide to sit in the corner of the room. Says, I see you had a confrontation with Dr. Bashir yesterday. And he's like, that was nothing. He says, not according to Dr. Bashir. So we have a little bit of argument. We're always arguing. And apparently, according to Constable Odo, he also had an incident with Quark. O'Brien's like, did that little... And he's like, listen, sorry. I may have let things get a little out of hand, but it won't happen again. Cisco says, Bashir also told me you stopped seeing the therapist. He said, the agreement is you were going to see the counselor 3 times a week. And he's like, you're right. I'll make an appointment to see him tomorrow. Cisco says, you'll see him today. Immediately. O'Brien says, I got a lot of work to do today. Cisco says, the work can wait. You're relieved of duty. And you report to Counselor Denari. And now you're going to daily counseling sessions for as long as he deems it's needed. And he said, you're blowing this out of proportion. Cisco says, no, I'm not. What happened to you really affected you deeply. You're not going to get better ignoring it. You need help. He's like, please, Captain, I'm asking you as a personal favor to me. Give me one more chance. Cisco says, I wish I could. But right now, in the judgment of this station's chief medical officer, you're unfit for duty, which means you're on medical leave effective immediately. And if you don't begin attending counseling sessions on a regular basis and cooperating with your physician, you'll have no other choice but have him confined to the infirmary. Is that understood? Yes, sir. And he's dismissed. Oh, Dax is there. He said, Chief, I was just about to head down to the Replimat. What did she think she was going to do? Have lunch with O'Brien? And he throws off his badge he threw off his badge in the turbo lift. He comes into, he's like, what did you say to him, to Bashir? He's like, what did you say to him? He relieved me of duty. And Bashir's like, it's the best for you. He's like, how the hell do you know what's best? I've been going through it alone. He's like, that's right, you were alone. I know that you suffered. He's like, Bashir, so Brian's like, I never asked for your help. Bashir said, you didn't need to ask. And now the cellmate's behind Bashir and saying you made the same mistake. Don't make the same mistake that you made with me. He said, don't you get it? The O'Brien that was your friend died in that cell. You're not my friend anymore. He's like, you stay away from me. I don't want your help. I don't want your friendship. I just want to be left alone. And now the cellmate is begging him to go back and talk to Bashir. He just wants to help. He's like, that's right. We're both your friend. He's like, and look what happened to you. And he gets into a turbo lift and goes up to the habitat ring. So his friend, there's the cellmates waiting outside. Like, sooner or later you got to confront him. You can't run from me forever. He's behind every corner. O'Brien says, you're dead. Why don't you leave me alone? He says, if you want me to leave, leave. Send me away. If I keep coming back, it's because some part of you brings me here. And then he turns around and he's gone. Rock Solid says there's a lot of O'Brien in this episode, and our friend Thomas Potts me things possible. Keiko heard that she was relieved of duty. He's been walking. He's like trying to tell that to Julian. And Molly is like, Downey, Connie, come see what I drew. And she's like, Daddy, you have to come see. And Keiko's talking in his ear. And he's like, not now, not now. And Molly's like, please, please, please. And O'Brien gets up and yells, I said not now. And then Molly starts crying. Keiko's got to hold her. And O'Brien is like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I'm sorry. And he leaves. He can't stay there. He can't be trusted around Molly now. So now he's in a cargo bay and he's using some type of big wrench and he's just taking his frustration out, knocking all the cargo bins over. Yeah. And he throws the wrench down. All the anger's got to go somewhere. He should have gone to the Hollow Suite and played one of the Worf's things. We could have killed everybody. Oh, he's going to decompress. Oh, he's going to the weapons locker. He's going for a phaser because he can still access the phasers. He's gonna shoot himself with the phaser. He's thinking about it. He's setting it to kill. Oh, he's setting it to its max setting. And I don't know if that's kill or vaporize. But he's turning around. He's pointing the phaser at his face, like Michael Burnham, but on purpose. And we cut to commercial. He's holding it right under his skin. And Bashir comes in and says, Chief. And he's like, get out of here, Julian. He's like, you don't want to do this, Chief. He's like, the hell I don't. He's like, I don't claim to know what you went through. But whatever it is, it's not worth dying for. He's like, you don't understand at all. He's not doing this for me. I'm doing this to protect Keiko and Molly. And he'll get the insurance money. He's like, to protect him from what? He's like, to protect him from me. I'm not the man I used to be. I'm dangerous. I nearly hit Molly today. All she wanted was a little attention. I nearly hit her. And she was like, but you didn't. You're a good man, Miles. No. Whatever it is you think you did, you don't deserve to die. He's like, you sound like HR. Like, who's HR? He's not real. He's just a memory. He's like a memory from the prisoner. I was like, who was he? Another prisoner? He was my cellmate. But you told me you were alone in that cell for 20 years. 20 years with no one to talk to. He's like, yeah. He says he was at the end. A week, 2 maybe. He doesn't know. The rest of the time, there was HR. And HR's there in the background watching. Like, what happened to him? Oh, O'Brien is drawing and he's back in his cell and he's getting mad at his own drawing. Each of said, why'd you do that? He says it wasn't helping. He's like, you need to concentrate more. He's like, I'm already concentrating. And he's still starving. He's like, so am I. You're like, you sure there's nothing left? He's like, not unless you have a hiding place I don't know about. And he's like, I had the last of fruit he put away a week ago. We should have stockpiled more. We should have prepared for this. He said they'd never let us go this long without food before. Maybe they forgot about us. They just decided to finally let us die. He says, then we'll die. All offenders prepare for dormitory. Anybody active during dormitory will, you know, be disciplined. Illumination will be what after in 20 seconds. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm going to sleep. O'Brien's like, how can you sleep at a time like this? He's like, maybe I'll dream about food. And he laughs. He's like, you're crazy. He's like, nope, just hungry. Dormitory period initiated. Dan 23 says, Jay, you can get real boxes like that with the phaser is in. Nitpicking nerds, if O'Brien was starving, why is he still chubby? Geeks enjoy Nerdrotica, says Darren Wagner, please check your DMs. Darren, are you here? Qapla, Darren. Yeah, they should have revoked his security clearance, Hakeem. Absolutely. William Devine says, nitpicking nerd, they already ate the third guy. Oh, and now O'Brien sees that his friend did save some food. He was hiding it away. He had another hiding place. Can you imagine in a cell that small there was another hiding place O'Brien didn't know about? And O'Brien kicks him and knocks him down. And he said, you pretended to be my friend. And all this time you were holding out on me. He's like, you're acting crazy. Oh, landed a punch right to O'Brien's face. He's like, everything I've done for you, you're ungrateful. He kicks him. O'Brien then throws sand in his face. Gets the knockdown. O'Brien on top. Rolling around. O'Brien uses his arm to kill him. Break his neck. And O'Brien looks at the food. And he's like, he said, you were saving it for both of us. It was an even amount of food. You were saving it for both of us. He's like, HR, wake up, HR. He's like, it's okay now. You were saving it for both of us. Oh no, I killed you. Oh no, I killed you. I mean, you did kind of not tell me about food you were saving. I killed him over some rotten apples. The worst part of it was the next day, the gods begin feeding him again. I killed him for nothing. For a scrap of bread he was going to share with me. This was a mistake. He didn't mean it. He meant it. He meant it, says O'Brien. I wanted him to die. I keep telling myself, doesn't matter. It wasn't real. That's a lie. If it had been real, if it had been you instead of him, it wouldn't have made any difference. He was my best friend, and I murdered him. Growing up, they used to tell us humanity had evolved, that mankind had outgrown hate and rage. And then I watched Star Trek Discovery and Star Trek Picard. When he had the chance to show that no matter what anyone did to me, I was still an evolved human being. He failed. He repaid kindness with blood. All that hair, says Dan. He's like, I was no better than an animal. He said, no, an animal wouldn't have shed a tear. You did. You hate yourself so much you think you deserve to die. They did everything they could to strip you of your humanity. In the end, for one brief moment, they succeeded. But you can't let that brief moment define your entire life. If you pull that trigger, then the Argratha would have won. It would have destroyed a good man. You can't let that happen. That's right. Don't kill yourself. Kill some Argratha. Oh, well, maybe don't kill anyone. But if you're going to kill somebody, kill an Argratha. They're the ones who did this to you. They made you this way. And then his cellmate says, be well, Miles. And just disappears, I guess. He walks away. Never to be seen again. He learned his final lesson. So does he not have to go to counseling now? Hopefully. Hopefully, Bashir did all the counseling he needed. 30 milligrams twice a day. It's a treatment, not a cure. Prevent hallucinations, take the edge off the depression. It can't take away the memories, the feelings, the guilt. He said, it'll take time. Now's the time you tell me I have to see counselor Tenori. He's like, unless you want to talk to me. He's like, oh, Tenori will be fine. He says, thanks. Thanks, Julian, for everything. Like, what are friends for? To share your bread. Oh, he's back. And Molly's like, Daddy's home. Daddy's home. And she hugs him by the leg. She doesn't care that he almost hit her last time. She forgot about it. It's like, that's right. Daddy's home. And don't accidentally stick you with this hypo spray that is dangerously close to the back of your neck right now. I'm sure it's not for you, Molly. Dan23 says, range and anger towards others, humans, I think mean is gone. Nitpicking nerds is too bad Molly later mutates into a trans worm. Oh, no, poor Molly. Not a trans worm. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, so that was a very good episode. Very O'Brien centric, but good. Dan23 says it looks awkward to hold a phaser to your head. It looks awkward to hold the phaser to your head. It does, Dan. It does. And you would think that perhaps, they would have circuitry in the phaser that might identify if you're trying to shoot yourself. And I don't know, maybe not let you do it. I'm just saying. It doesn't seem out of the realm of possibility for 24th century technology. Nitpicking nerds is even when Molly was a baby, O'Brien was possessed by an alien and threatened her and her mom, so she's used to it. This is true. Rock Solid says, hashtag Molly O'Brien must suffer. They had Molly O'Brien in one of the previews for the Deep Space Nine documentary. She went out with the cast one night and filmed a little bit. But then when we saw the actual documentary, I don't think she was in it at all. She didn't make the cut. But she was there. They spoke to her. There somewhere is the lost Molly O'Brien footage from the DS9 documentary. Yosef says, never thought this episode was funny until today. Monty's Folly says, Molly is such an irritating character. Kay Sabian says, was it an alternate Molly who was in the Time Traveler? Yeah, it was an alternate Molly, I guess. Dan23 says, Bird of Prey, there was a Star Trek Enterprise where an officer shot himself in the head with a phase pistol. Okay, I don't remember it offhand, but I'm sure there is. There's suicides on Trek have happened. There was there was a couple in TNG. Now they turned out to be from a psychic impression or something, but they were suicides, even if they were like psychically forced or something. Dee Dee Myers says, Bird of Prey, thanks for the episode. It was a great episode, very emotional. Thanks, Bird, great pick. Well, Dee Dee, thank you. I mean, obviously, I didn't make the episode. I didn't write the episode. Technically, I didn't pick the episode since we're watching all of DS9. Please, save your thanks and whatnots for the writers, the actors, and the people who actually, had made the episode. I don't want to take credit away from anyone else. Next week's episode 20, is Shattered Mirror. And that is a return to the Mirror Universe. It's the episode where Jennifer Sisko is back. And our Sisko has to try to get Jennifer Sisko away from the attendant and working for the humans, working for the Terrans again to help the revolt because she has some nice cushy gig working for the Bajorans for some reason. And Jake is there too. Jake gets to see his mom again, even though it's not technically his mom. It's his mom. So that's a weird episode. I know it's not. I know a lot of people don't like the DS9 Mirror Universe episodes. I do. I've enjoyed them. I like seeing the alternate universe. We get to see Worf in the Mirror Universe for the first time. Remember, TNG, they never did a Mirror Universe episode for God knows what reason. I mean, of all the TOS episodes they revisited, you would have thought the Mirror Universe would have been a number one pick. But for whatever reason, they didn't do a Mirror Universe episode of TNG. But all the better because we get to see Worf in the Mirror Universe in this episode for the first time. So that's cool. That's cool. Bird of Praises, I love the Time Traveler episode. Oh, that Molly time travel episode, DD. I know it's yet to happen, I think. Yeah, right. It hasn't happened yet because the brother's not born yet. But Jesus, I'll be honest, ED, that is one of my least favorite DS9 episodes. It just hurts. When we get to that episode, it's not going to be one of my favorites. But if you like it, that's great. Great. And yeah, the guy who suicides in the warp nacelle. That's it on TNG. Dan23, Bird of Prey, Deep Space Nine documentary DVD had some extra parts that weren't shown in the main feature. Maybe she was there. Dan, I've seen the extras, and I don't believe she was in the extras either. So I really just don't think she made the cut at all. Dee Dee says, Bird of Prey, I loved it. Yeah. The Time Traveler. Kay Zabian says, in Karoga, Bird is the executive producer of all art. Nitpicking Nerd says, Worf delivered Molly. That's right. And spanked her when he heard Keiko is having another baby on DS9. That was just last week. He freaked out and went away on vacation during the time she was due. That's how he ended up in Insurrection. Yeah, in fact, I think it was just last week's episode, or the week before, where they say, did you hear the good news, Worf? Keiko's pregnant. Keiko's having a baby. And Worf says, now? And they're like, no, in like 7 months. And Worf says, I'm going to be on vacation. I'm busy that day. I'm going to be on vacation. far away. And then O'Brien has to tell the rest of the staff that Worf delivered Molly. And they're like, really? Yeah. Like, I don't know who took it worse, O'Brien or Worf. Dee Dee says, Vertebrae, you deserve a small part of the thanks because you're streaming DS9. Well, I'm streaming my commentary of DS9. But thank you, Dee Dee. I'm glad you enjoy it. I'm glad we all get a chance to re-enjoy some great Star Trek, because this is the track we want to see. This is what we want, CBS. We would gladly pay for CBS for Star Trek like this. I would gladly pay for this stuff. I would gladly pay if you just put this in HD. Okay? If you just said, listen, the only place in the world you can get HD DS9, HD Voyager is on CBS All Access, I would say, you know what? It's worth the monthly fee just to have HD DS9. Just to give me that. Just give me that. Whatever. Rock Solid says, having lost my parents, the Mirror Universe episode with Jennifer is hard to watch and gives me too many what ifs. I understand, Rock Solid. That's got to be a tough what if. A tough episode. Dan23 says, is Kitchen Nightmares that TV show with Chef Gordon Ramsay? I don't know. I think so, but I'm not 100% sure. Monty says, yes, it is. The restaurant was called Sushi KO. Dee Dee Myers is Vertebrae. You're correct. This is the kind of track we want with you, Bird. Thank you, Dee Dee. I'm glad. Yeah. So that is. He was on a few restaurants shows, though, Gordon Ramsay. Nitpicking Nerd says the real Jennifer might still be alive in the Borg Collective. No, she was dead. I mean, she was crushed. They couldn't get her out, and then the ship exploded. I mean, you would have to go to the kind of science like they did for Data in Star Trek Picard, that the Borg would like, oh, well, we could reconstitute her from one brain cell. If we scanned the wreckage for one brain cell, we cloned her, she had all of her past memories, and then we made her a Borg. That's the only way the real Jennifer Sisko could still be alive. Because in Emissary, they had to pull Sisko away from her crushed body. She was already dead. They already did the scan. She was dead already, crushed under metal, unmovable. And then within a few seconds of them leaving the ship just exploded. So there is nothing left of her. She was vaporized, just as much as Data was in Nemesis. Many Borg drones say they were simulated Wolf 3859. Well, yeah, many might have been, but Jennifer, we have visual screen proof she was dead. Mando Merck says, hey, Bird, sorry I've not been as active here. Been busy and just finished some work early tonight. Mando, you don't ever have to apologize. People have lives outside YouTube. I get it. I wish I did. I do. Sometimes I do. And that takes priority every time. You never need to apologize, Mando, but I am glad that you made it here today. Rock Solid says, new video dropping in 8 minutes. Very cool, guys. Check out Rock Solid for your retro gaming and current gaming news and info. Dee Dee Myers says, hail Karina. The hell's Karina? Hail Karoga, I assume. Monty's Folly and Disco didn't ask for a doggy bag. Dan23 says, yeah, putting Star Trek in HD doesn't mean it's remastered with new effects. Well, I assume they would do that. Joseph Patrick says, Bird of Prey, stop talking about Picard. You're making it worse. Dan23 says, nitpicking nerd, if you go to Memory Alpha and look at the unproduced Star Trek Deep Space Nine episodes, you'll find a story about Jennifer being bored that the writers chose not to make. Jesus Christ, Dan, I can't believe it. That doesn't make any sense at all. And I'm glad they didn't make out that episode. Joseph says, I checked out Rock Solid. He's not my type. Not in that way, Joseph. Nitpicking nerd, I wrote a fan fiction with that idea once. That's pretty cool. With Cisco facing off against the Borg and having to sacrifice Jennifer. Wow. I mean, because we know you can undo Borg stuff. We've seen it. We've seen it happen. Mountains of Elysium says, as we know about Wolf 359, couldn't we leave Cisco a letter like in Back to the Future and tell him take a few days off, or at least not to take the family on the dangerous space mission? With all the time travel in DS9, maybe like when he went back to the Bell riots, if he somehow set a secret message for himself in the future about avoiding Wolf 359, not having Jennifer on board or something, or even when he goes back in time to Trials and Tribulations, he could certainly, when he went back in times and Trials and Tribulations, he could do something, record some type of Starfleet message to be delivered at a later date, you would think, to himself, and warn himself about that, and we could get an alternate timeline where Jennifer was alive. That I would believe over the Borg being able to reconstitute her body from vaporized, cells. Mando Merck says, Mando Merck's prescription of humor, take once daily. And there's a link. Very cool. And Mando says, puts it in again. Take twice a day. Oh, take twice a day. So there's one to take once daily and one to take twice daily. And they're different lengths. Nitpicking nerds says, Cisco had the orb of time. He could have easily went back and changed it. That's right. Hell, he's a wormhole alien now. Time has no meaning. He could just walk out of the wormhole and change time whenever he wants. Dan23 says, Bird of Prey, I've sent you a link on Twitter to the list of undeveloped DS9 and episodes. Thank you, Dan. Honestly, I'm probably not going to look through them because I just don't really have time to read up a bunch of episodes that never happened. But it's cool. Thank you. I mean, maybe if I get bored, I'll take a look. But thank you very much. I appreciate it. So with that, guys, I think we're going to end this here. Again, next week, Shattered Mirror, same old time, same old place. Qapla all. Thank you all for coming. You don't have to leave, but you can't stay here, although you could. How about you go to another one of my videos? It's like having a second video all over again. Oh, the sound. Thank you all for watching my video.
Comment, like, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell icon. Without it, you won't get notifications of new videos. Check out BirdoPrey5.com, the new home of everything Birdo Prey 5 on the web. You can also check out my forum at juot.net. I'm also on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, and Gab. If you'd like to make a donation, check out paypal.me/BirdoPrey5 or on BirdoPrey5.com. Take care.